So here we go, guys. Something I know we all do, and I know is very difficult not to do, but I definitely want to cover this and talk about this because it's definitely something that comes up all the time and can be something that we may not know how to deal with, either because we don't think we're dealing with it, or we just don't look for the answers. So question being, is social media holding you back? Now we will get into like a little more of like in depth of just not just social media, it's just the idea, but answer to the question is absolutely yes. Comparing yourself to people on social media is one, normal, but it can definitely be detrimental to your results. It may even lead to negative results if we're not careful with how we're approaching, like looking at other people on Instagram or in the gym or just around us, right? And it's not just about your physical appearance and your goals, but it's also your mental and emotional health. Like we may not realize how much we wreak havoc on our brains by comparing ourselves to unlikely comparisons. And I'll get into what I mean by that later. So this also plays like a huge part in how you continue to approach your training, how you approach your nutrition, how you approach your habit building. If you feel like I'm comparing myself to that person, I'm never going to be like that person, then you're eventually going to stop creating goals. You're definitely going to stop creating habits to get you there. So definitely detrimental, right? And I think we all know how discouraging it can be when we see people on social media that, you know, we'd like to look like, we'd like to just be like, we'd like to live the life they live, we'd like to have the things they have. That's normal, it's natural. But, you know, we'll get into like why that can hurt and why that isn't good for you. So just a couple things here. I don't know if you knew, but scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or whatever your social media pleasure is, for just 7 minutes, 7 minutes a day, or in just 7 minutes, can have crazy negative effects on your mental health, right? Thanks, G. Crazy negative effects on your mental health, and they may be little by little, right? That's in 7 minutes. I'm pretty sure we're on social media longer than 7 minutes, right? Maybe a couple hours a day. Just think about how that's wreaking havoc on your brain, and if you're not filling it with like other positive things, then yeah, that's gonna hurt. It's gonna be discouraging. It's gonna be like, why am I even trying this, right? And then to make things worse, it kind of made me a little sad. I didn't know this because I do have, you know, females in my life that I care about, friends, family, that it sucks to hear this, right? But to make things worse, studies have found that women who posted selfies reported feeling more anxious, less confident, and less physically attractive right after posting it. So think about that. You took a picture of yourself because you like, hey man, I look fucking fly right now. Like I'm feeling myself, right? That's what you say. You take a picture of yourself because, hey man, I look good. And then as soon as you post it onto a website, Instagram, Facebook, where other people who you don't even know start looking at it, you just automatically feel those feelings of maybe I'm not that pretty. Oh my God, what are people gonna think? Maybe I shouldn't go out looking like this. Like that's horrible to do to yourself, right? So I just find it so like I know it's hard not to do those things, but we got to get away from that. We got to move away from comparing ourselves to Instagram life, social media life, right? That we all know that isn't 100% real and truth. I think what's really important to realize for all of us, for yourself, and if you haven't heard this before and you're hearing this for the first time, I hope it helps, but what's really important to realize is that the only person who needs to matter on how they make you feel about yourself or what you think about yourself is you. It is the person who looks in the mirror, the person who talks to you every morning, the person who do you think talks to you the most throughout the day? You do. You talk to yourself all day. How much negative self-talk do you think you're doing? And like I said earlier, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's just a switch you can flip there. You're just like, oh, I'm just going to be positive about myself and not worry about other people and just fuck them. No, it's difficult, but I can vouch for how beneficial it is to look at yourself in the mirror and give yourself positive feedback. Like, if I'm training hard, if I'm eating right, and I look at myself in the mirror 2 weeks later, I'm like, you're so fat. You're still fat. You're not where you want. Like, who would you tell that to? What friend would you just say that to? Like, if a friend's by and they're like, oh, yeah, I went to say to this girl and she just turned me down. It's like, oh, it's because you're ugly. I'm pretty sure I'm not that kind of friend. I'm pretty sure you guys don't have that kind of friend. Don't be that friend to yourself, right? It's just not cool. Think about it that way. Maybe that helps, right? Sorry, I got a little carried away. Like I said, I'm really passionate about these things. I really just want to help people. I don't think that, comparing yourself to others and making yourself feel down it puts you in a happy place. It doesn't, right? So, like I said, we're going to go over a couple things. Social media is a big thing about it, but also social, it's really genius. Never thought about it like that. You're welcome. I tried. I heard it from somebody else though, so I would not take credit for that. So our social media interactions obviously make us feel kind of down on ourselves, or like we're not where we're supposed to be yet. But also our social relationships, right? So we take out the media, we just put social relationships. We haven't been very social this past year with the pandemic, but I'm sure there's still text messages, video calls, phone calls, group videos, like those things were still happening. So we still had those social interactions, right? Your friends, your neighbors, coworkers that you were still able to talk to. Those are the things that influence how you feel as well. And those are the people you really compare yourself to on a daily basis. Your peer group. They're almost at a level that you are. Maybe someone's a little ahead, so you compare yourself to that person. Maybe someone's ahead over here, you're comparing yourself there. Or maybe someone below you comparing themselves to you. But you compare yourself to a small little circle of peers that you think you need to be like. Is that right? That's right. Okay. Now what that is, that's called the social comparison theory. And that's been studied since like the 40s. It was an idea brought, didn't write down his name, I should have, but it's the social comparison theory. And that's how you compare yourself to other people with not just your physical appearance, but also your success in life. So peers around you, your success in life, how you're doing with, do you have a house? Do you have kids yet? Do you have a business? Are you advancing your career? Things like that, like I said, don't just have to do with physical fitness, with nutrition, things like that. We all compare ourselves in life as well. So usually what happens if you don't measure up to those people, which it's human nature to do so, but it puts us down a little bit, and it puts us in a negative space. And sometimes we even compare ourselves to like yourself 10 years ago. I'm like, 10 years ago it's 10 fucking years ago, dude. You're a little older. Things are different, right? If that's with your physical or your nutrition, you're like, oh man, like 10 years ago I could have, ran faster, I could have exercised more, or whatever. 10 years ago I could have worked harder at my job and maybe been more successful now. It's like, well, why do that to yourself? It's gone. It's over. It's done. And then a lot of times we compare ourselves to people we have absolutely zero connection with. And that's when we get to our Instagram, right? Our social media. We're back to social media again. That's when you compare yourself to celebrities or TV. When you're watching a movie, you compare yourself to that actress or actor. Or when you're watching a sporting event, you compare yourself to that athlete, or a concert or something. You compare yourself to that singer. Like, what? They have so many resources available to them, and they've also achieved this much in life because they've already done all that. They've done everything that you need to do to get there. But all we're comparing ourselves to is the end result, and that's just never going to work. You're always going to be scratching and clawing at someone ahead of you because once you get to a certain level, there's always going to be someone better than you. It's just human nature to always look for that. Excuse me. So, that being said, I know it's difficult to just stop comparing yourself and be like, all right, cool, I'll just do that. Thanks, Adamir. Appreciate the advice. Let's talk about a couple strategies that you can use in your own life to go ahead and kind of beat out those comparisons in your life. Focus on actions, not outcomes, right? Now, when you talk about focus on actions, action being, I want to bench 300 pounds. I want to be a size 4, so I'm gonna get on point with my nutrition. Or I want to run a 6-minute mile, so I'm gonna start running 3 or 4 times a week. And I'm also gonna lose weight so that my body fat drops and I can run faster. Okay, cool. That gets really tough though, because you don't know how your body is gonna respond to your nutrition plan, to your workout plan. You don't know if you might get hurt and it might push you back a little bit. So you're like, okay, well now my goal of running a 6-minute mile in 2 months or a month is now 3 or 4 months. And I don't want to do it anymore. Have you had that happen? I know I have, right? So they're great. Goals are great when they can be achievable and you're going to make it. But for a lot of people, it can be very discouraging when you don't get there in the time frame you think you need to get there. Like, oh, I need to lose 10 pounds in 30 days. That's tough. And if you don't get there, you're like, I'm a failure. I'm not going to try again. It's very easy to stop doing something because it's hard to accomplish it. So habit-based goal is just eat lean protein at every meal. Then I'm going to lose weight. I can be a size 4. Cool. Have your 5 servings of fruits and vegetables each day. And then you can run your 6-minute mile because you've lost body fat. Exercise 2-3 days a week. Strength training 3 days a week so you can get to that 400-pound bench. Right? If you follow actions over results, once you get to that result, you'll be able to keep them because you've built up the actions to get there. So you won't lose those things because you know what it takes to stay there. All right? 2, put things in perspective every single day. This is a little simpler in a sense because it's easy to it's more about talking about what you're happy about, right? So it's easy to obsess on the things that we don't like about ourselves. I'm sure you can pick something up, 2 or 3 things about yourself right now. If I were to ask you, you'd be like, yeah, I don't like that, right? But it takes up way too much space in our heads. So we got to focus on the good in our lives so it gets rid of the amount of negativity we ourselves put in our head and that we consume with media and things like that. One of the easiest ways to do this is journaling. So if you've ever thought about I want to get a journal, I need to start, I hear people talk about it all the time. Where do I start? That's tough. Best way to start, just write down 3 things you're grateful for, 1 thing you're excited about in your life, and then 1 thing you're proud of, whether it was the day before, something that's coming up that you're proud of. I'm proud of this series because I'm hoping to help some people. So, and it's a major mental boost, and it definitely gives you a lot to think about throughout the day, and it puts you in such a good, bright mood. I told some of my clients about this. They agree. They've done it before too. Also, get a supportive circle of friends, family, coworkers. It's best to share your struggles with people that are also going through this so that you can understand that you're not the only one going through it, right? That's what we all want, to feel like everyone is like me in a sense where we all go through the same shit, and we do, right? And it's hard. It's definitely hard to be vulnerable with people that maybe you don't know or people you've never been vulnerable to, but those are the people that are gonna help guide you through it. And especially if you have a coach or a trainer that you're already able to talk to, right? If you don't have one, reach out. We can talk. There's a support system available to you. So, like I said earlier, you'll never be able to attain what you constantly compare yourself to, right? Psychologically, once we get to that goal, there's always something better. It's just a trigger that we have. Focus on things that bring you joy and happiness. Seek help, role models, and all around just good people around you. Don't put yourself around people that are always negative all the time. You don't want that. Love yourself with all your, says freaking, but love yourself with all your fucking heart, man. Okay? Remind yourself that all you can do is be 1% better every day. So if you read one more page than you did yesterday in a book, great. If you did one more rep this workout than you did last workout, awesome. 1%, guys. It's going to compound over time. And that's the thing we got to remember, that it's going to take time to get to those compared goals that we have. Those people that we're comparing ourselves to didn't get there overnight, to say the least. It didn't happen right away. And we're expecting it to happen right away because we see it, but social media is a highlight reel. People don't show the shit that's not good in their lives. What's the point? That's being vulnerable. They don't want to do it with people. Alright, just remember that, alright? And then take away like things around your life that are like triggers for you. Like don't put yourself in that spin class that's like really, really hard and you can barely keep up. Don't put yourself in a class where you're like, man, these people are like really in shape. But don't do that. Everyone started somewhere. So start at the beginning, work your way up, and you'll get to your goal. Alright? But start now, because if you don't do it now, the time's going to pass anyways. And a year from now, you're going to wish you started over here. Okay? So, thanks again, you guys. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope that this may have inspired you just a little bit, giving you something to think about, something to really soak in and try to be better, right? If you think there's someone that needs to hear this, a friend, a family member, someone that you talk to in passing that was like, they may have negative feelings about themselves, share it with them, please. Send them to my Instagram. Send them to my YouTube. My YouTube link is in my bio. So if you need all the videos, they're all there. If you need to catch up on something or just show someone, please like it, subscribe it. It really helps me out if you do that. Get a little more exposure so I can continue to bring this content to as many people as possible. So, whew, that was fun. All right, you guys, I love you. Love yourself. And as always, go be the best versions of yourselves, all right? Bye.